Hey guys, Ashlane here, coming at you today with the long-awaited 4-part plan to fix farming in Clash of Clans. So if you've watched every episode this week, you'll know that I've been focusing on farming this week. Usually I focus on war strategy, but I decided to flip the script, and we're going to cover some farming because that's what you guys want to hear and talk about. Certainly the game is not broken, and I know a lot of people are going to hate on me for saying that, but there are some things that need fixing, tweaking, and adjusting, and I'm going to propose a plan to do so. So the episode format will be my credentials, the current synopsis and overview of what's wrong with the game right now in terms of farming, and then my proposed plan of 4 steps to go ahead and fix the issues in the game right now. So let's go ahead and start out with this raid by White Walker. He is our newest legend in Red Elite, so congratulations to White Walker. We'll go ahead and play this, and then any other replays I happen to have on hand in the background. But my credentials. So why am I even bothering to mention my credentials? Well, I've gotten a few comments, and they're totally justified in the past week now, saying, Ash, like, why are you a war guy or a farm guy? Pick one. Or are you I've talked about trophy pushing as well, so are you a trophy guy or are you a war guy or whatnot? So I guess this will be a little bit self-serving, tooting my own horn, but just, a little bit about me in game. So I've been playing for over 3 years now, and I have 3 accounts, and I'm just shy of 2 billion gold grab, and so I've done a lot of farming. So I'm really a jack of all trades in terms of my interest in the game. I don't have a favorite part of the game. I guess it might be war, but that's only because I love strategy. But there is strategy involved in trophy pushing and farming as well, and I've certainly done a lot of that. So I feel like I have a decent grasp on every part of the game. Also, trophy pushing, pre-Legend League, when it was much tougher to get really high, I scored almost 4,700 cups, and in war, you guys know that I'm mainly focused on that, but I have over 800 war stars on my main account with almost 200 million spoils of war. So I have, a pretty diverse portfolio or profile, I guess you could say. So anyway, let's move on. Enough about me. Let's talk about what we're all here to listen about. So let's go over the issues with farming right now in the game. So at Town Hall 10 and 11, right now, I think farming is great. If you're in a high league and you're Town Hall 10 with max troops and you're not and max defenses, so you're not a rush Town Hall 10 or a new Town Hall 10. But that's a small minority of clashers. But I can tell you that for me personally on my main account, farming has never been better because I'm taking advantage of the loot bonus. I'm Town Hall 11, so I have Grand Warden. I'm absolutely stomping bases, even Town Hall 11s, because Town Hall 11s is pretty well balanced in my opinion, as far as the attacker has a great advantage that Town Hall 10 attackers don't have without that Grand Warden, but that's a debate for another day, I guess. But what I wanted to get to is I think Town Hall 11 is just fine. Town Hall 10, especially if you're in a higher league, it's just great. Even a few guys in my clan are barching at Town Hall 11 and 10, and they're doing really fine with it. So I don't think that anything needs to be adjusted, although some of these solutions will also impact Town Hall 11s. But let's get to the people who really are struggling right now, and that is newer or non-max Town Hall 10s and Town Hall 9.5s, Town Hall 9s, Town Hall 8.5s, Town Hall 8s, and so on. So what are the issues? Well, in my mind, in my estimation, there's 2 or 3 main issues in the game right now as far as what's affecting farming. Now, I don't want to just throw accusations at Supercell or throw facts out there irresponsibly, so I've waited a while for this episode. It's been, almost 2 weeks now since the update hit, so I wanted to make sure I had my facts straight. I wanted to make sure that before I don't want to just bash the game for the sake of bashing the game, because I think there's a lot of things that have really been solved in the update. But there are a lot of things that, like I said, the whole reason for this episode is that I think there are some things that need to be addressed, and that's why I'm bringing solutions rather than just complaining here. You might not like all the solutions, but I'm anxious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. So the problems that we're facing right now as Town Hall 9s, and I do have a Town Hall 9 account, and newer Town Hall 10s and so on, are the bully problem. So a lot of Town Hall 9s, including mine in my defense log, I'm getting absolutely trampled by Town Hall 10s in farming. and Town Hall 8s might be getting trampled by Town Hall 9s, but bullying is a bigger issue, a way bigger issue than it was pre-update, because now people, instead of taking those free shields against the lower level Town Halls, they're really forced to attack. If you have any loot in your storages, a Town Hall 10, and you're a Town Hall 9, a Town Hall 10 comes across you, there's no reason not to totally stomp over you, roll over you 100% and get all your loot, and then that sets you back 2k DE if you're trying to save up. It's really, really difficult right now for farmers to save up their loot. I hear you guys loud and clear on the forums, on Twitter, on my comment section, on other YouTubers' comment sections. I'm really a social maven, so I really am getting a good grasp, not only from my own experience, but what is bothering you guys. And I think the bully issue is huge right now. That's one of my steps in the solutions I'm gonna propose, is to address that bully issue. The other issue right now, and that ties into the loot problem, there's more loot in the game right now overall, right? So take away the whole dead base issue, which we're going to get to in just a second, but there seems to be more loot in the game because the Town Hall sniping stuff isn't going on, so those bases that were hiding behind those shields are now available, so that leads to more loot, but it's just harder to get and it's harder to maintain. So I have some solutions for that as well. And also, the whole dead base issue. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this again. The dead base issue is certainly noticeable. There's less dead bases, and you can see it on inactive accounts. If you have an inactive account that you haven't played on in a while, log on and you'll see that you've been removed from the player pool for a long period of time. You'll go days sometimes without being attacked. Now, it's not to say there's not any dead bases. There are dead bases in the game, but because of player behavior and because of, for some reason, the rate at that they're removed from the pool seems to have went up. I don't know if that's anecdotal. I don't know that for a fact, but either way, it creates a problem. It's really difficult to farm with really inexpensive armies like Barch and Bam, which is collector raids essentially, which half the farming community was doing previously. So it's definitely possible to still farm post-update, but you're going to have to use strategies like Super Queen, which I brought you 2 days ago, or heavier armies that I brought you yesterday. Check those videos out in the meantime if you're interested, if you want to go ahead and farm successfully in the new system. And you'll have to attack through shields. You're going to have to really make this new system work for you until or if they change the whole dead base situation. So anyway, those are the problems right now in a nutshell. The third problem we'll kind of get to in the first solution, but it's the leagues, but league bonuses. So league bonuses aren't really high enough, and we're going to get to that in the solution, so let's not keep repeating myself over and over again. So the 4-step plan to improve farming in Clash of Clans. Let's go ahead and start with new level of pumps. Now, I'm gonna explain these 4 points and why I think they're going to be beneficial, but I want to be cognizant of one thing here. I'm not throwing these recommendations out to earn favor of my subscribers or the community. It's easy for everybody to go, new level pumps, yes, Adam, more loot in the game, Adam, 300% league bonus increase, add it. And then everybody would love me, but it doesn't make sense because you want to create a feasible and long-term sustainable economy in the game. So you have to be very careful with these tweaks. They can't be incredibly dramatic. But I do think that new level pumps can be added to the game. And there's a big reason for that. I don't want to just have new level pumps for the sake of having it. I want to have it because they're going to be replacing a lot of the loot that was removed from the game for a lot of farmers. And that is the loot that people used to get off league bonuses by Town Hall sniping. That was a big part of the loot that people would get. Even if you were farming in a boost session, for example, 2 or 3 or 4 of your attacks might have just been Town Hall snipes, and that generated a lot of loot for you. Having new level pumps will help make up to that loot that you're losing off not getting Town Hall snipes. That is a really easy fix in my opinion. I mean, and that would be from Town Hall 8 up. So Town Hall 8, 9, 10, and 11 would get 1 level added to pumps and mines. That hasn't been done in over 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been like a year and a half, but you can correct me in the comments. But it's been a long time since we've got a new source or increased a boost to our sources of revenue, which are mines, and pumps. So I think a new level for the first time in the game could actually be introduced, and it could actually make sense. You want these things to make sense. So that will also help mitigate your defensive losses. So obviously you're going to have to defend now. You guys know this by now. You're defending, and you're going to be losing more loot. Having the new level pumps will help make up for that. So new level pumps and mines is more important than it might sound. I think it's really important in the game right now to have new levels to pumps and mines. Number 2, a slightly higher league bonus. We got around a 110% increase to our league bonuses across the board, but I think it should have been more around 125%. Now, I'm not just throwing that number out there randomly. I thought about every league bonus, and I actually took 20 minutes before I started recording, and I looked to try to find the perfect number that I feel would incentivize me to go up a league if I was doing really well at my current league. Because that's what you want to have happen here. You want people who are really dominating at their league to go up a level, but right now, the loot bonus just isn't that much higher than it was. So I think 125% of what loot bonus was pre-update rather than 110% would be just enough to tweak that to make going up in leagues make a little bit more sense. The next point, part 3 to my 4-part proposal, is to add more dead bases to the game. Now that actually ties in a little bit to point 2. Point 2 was to increase the league bonus. And then when you increase the league bonus, you provided an incentive for players to go a little bit higher in leagues. Now, to offset that incentive, you can actually make more dead bases available, more collector raids available. That way, the player can choose, and that's what it's all about, letting the player choose a play style that works for him or her. So now, under this new scenario, more dead bases are added back to the game. I know you can't make them all available all the time, or they'd either dry up and the economy would kind of go in flux. So what you want to do is increase a little bit the percentage of dead bases available. That way people can actually barch again. That's really effective for low-level guys, Town Hall 7, 8, 9, right when they upgrade Town Hall. They're really short on loot. They want to be able to use cheap armies. They want to be able to barch. But you're going to have to pay the cost and go way down in League. And I know that they're not really keen on that, but that's going to tie into my 4th part. And let me just get to that right now, because they all kind of tie together, right? The 4th thing is it's much, much less likely to find a lower town hall than you in matchmaking PvP. So how does that tie into point number 3 and point number 2? Well, making dead bases available will allow people to barch again, allow people to go and collector raids. And the problem with that right now is that if people go barching or go collector raiding, a Town Hall 11 can find a Town Hall 10 in Silver League or whatever and totally absolutely wreck them. Town Hall 10 can find a Town Hall 9, absolutely wreck them. So if you make it much, much, much less likely to find a Town Hall lower than you in matchmaking, well, that will allow people, like for example, a Town Hall 11 who wants to go all the way down to Silver League. I mean, they're not going to have a huge incentive to stay there in Silver League. Why? Because they're only going to be able to find Town Hall 11s. So at least it's fair that way. So they'll still collector raids, the dead Town Hall 11 bases, but let's face it, Town Hall 11s don't have many dead bases. So Town Hall 11s are going to be kind of out of luck for barching. But let's face it, Town Hall barching isn't a huge farming strategy for Town Hall 11s. So Town Hall Search, and like I opened this whole video by saying that the loot at Town Hall 11, if you're in a high league right now with the Grand Warden, I think things are great farming with a little bit of a heavier army like Lavalunian or Balunian. Like you can see right now, this was actually a live raid I did while I was recording this, right before I started recording. So this is like an example of the raid I'm finding, and you got to remember here, I'm getting 400k elixir, plus the 280k bonus. I'm making almost 750,000 elixir off this one raid. Loot has never been better, let me tell you, for Town Hall 11. So that brings me back to my point. You don't need to worry about the Town Hall 11s per se, only finding other Town Hall 11s down in Silver League. You don't want to incentivize them to be in Silver League anyway. But you can allow the rest of us to have a little bit more in terms of collector raids, just a little bit, And that will help people have the option of barching if they want to barch, or have the option of dropping league if they want to drop league, just to get their feet under them. And that ties in again to the league bonuses. So league bonuses will, once they have a couple troop upgrades and they want to hop back up into a higher league, they'll be able to farm in an appropriate league to their town hall level and still find their own town hall level within that league, and there'll be a little bit more of an incentive there with that extra league bonus. So, I've done enough talking for today, so we're going to end things on that note. Again, my 4-part plan is new level to the pumps, a slightly higher league bonus, we want to add a slightly larger amount of dead bases to the game, and make it much less likely to find lower town hall levels in PvP matchmaking. Guys, I want to hear what you think about these propositions, and as always, take care. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Just a few ways you can help the channel out. Number 1, like. Number 2, subscribe. And number 3, comment. Tell me what you think of the video. I really appreciate it, guys, and it really helps me out a lot. Also, you can find me on social media. I'm active every day on Twitter at @clash_with_ash, and on Bindle chat group #ClashWithAsh. And as always, you can find me on my website at www.clashwithash.com. Thanks, guys.